Welcome back to Daily DeFi. We have so much to discuss today with Solana, Avalanche, and VeChain, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum hitting new all-time highs. Some very, very interesting articles. I promised I would bring this series back after we surpassed $100 billion locked in. And guess what? Today is a historical day. We've done this. Now, the question that I have for you today is, do you use DeFi Pulse or do you use DeFi Llama to track the decentralized finance marketplace? If you guys didn't know, I was doing this series basically every single day while traveling all around the world, basically tracking this market since we were all the way back here, even beyond this, when we were around $10 billion locked in. Pretty crazy that we've come this far. I was in Kosovo then. The last time I recorded this series, I was in Venice, Italy, went all the way from Venice to the Netherlands, went through Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany, so many different places. But here in Alexandria, Egypt, currently loving life as we're hitting new all-time highs. Hope you guys are enjoying these gains. But let's actually get right into what's going on today. We'll talk about some articles and these individual tokens in a minute. But first, to track this market again, I'm very curious in what you guys use, DeFi Pulse or DeFi Llama, as I bring this series back. I want to choose the best one that you guys prefer the most. So let me know in the comment section down below, or you can join the Telegram group, which is linked down below in the description, and discuss there. So total value locked in, at least on DeFi Pulse, is $101 billion. Now, there's obviously different metrics to track this. Aave dominance is sitting at 15.75%. So just to understand that a little bit better, we use Bitcoin dominance to kind of track how altcoins are going to perform, kind of as one of these indicators to allow you to track, okay, if Bitcoin dominance is dropping, typically altcoins rise, right? So some of the money flows out of Bitcoin. And with the decentralized finance marketplace, you want to look at the top dog, right? So currently we have Aave here at the top dog, and DeFi Pulse has them at $18 billion locked in. So we're using that kind of as that top indicator that, hey, maybe if the dominance drops a little bit, some of the money is flowing into some of these other projects. But again, that's something that you can use to your advantage. It's just one tool in the tool belt. I always talk about this in all my videos, how you should use a combination of multiple different analysis tools. I have a video linked down below in the description called How to Do Your Own Research, talking about fundamental, sentimental, on-chain, and technical analysis. And these are all very important things to understand, especially in a market like today, because you really want to be building up your skill set as much as you are investing in these projects for long-term growth. So we're seeing beyond Aave, we have Maker, Curve, Instap, and Compound. Then we have Uniswap down here, which actually, if we're looking here at the top DeFi tokens, Terra Luna actually surpassed Uniswap in market cap, which I love to see. I've talked about this a lot, but the overall thesis that I've been discussing is really, if we're looking at just even not in the top decentralized finance projects, but just in the overall top projects by market cap, which is one way to categorize things, I really see these layer ones pushing up to this top spot. So things like USDT, things like XRP, things like Dogecoin, I don't think will be in this top 10. Maybe these stable coins will be in that space, but I can see a lot of these other ones like Terra Luna getting up there, like Avalanche, for example, getting up there. We also have things like Polkadot, right? You have VeChain, which are very interesting and haven't actually surpassed their all-time highs, while Ethereum and Bitcoin have. Now, this is something you want to look for because, again, these are kind of leading indicators. So as Bitcoin, as Ethereum hits those all-time highs, if we see a little bit of a pullback, that's when we could really see these altcoins explode even more exponentially. But on the daily timeframes, we're seeing Solana doing incredible gains. When I was about to record this, I had some issues with the hotel here and the Wi-Fi. The Egyptian Wi-Fi is never that stable, but we're close to up 20% on the daily. Now we're looking at around 17% up on the daily, which is still massive gains, especially if you're trading this and you're using a little bit of leverage. If you're curious and interested in trading, understanding technical analysis, I have a completely free course. It's called Global TA. It's here on YouTube. No cost, no signing up with email. And just all the videos are here. So you can check that out down below in the description, or just go on my channel and click playlist, and you can find Global TA. Walks you step by step how to understand technical analysis, trading in any capital market. So with Solana, we're looking at rank number 6. Market cap is $56 billion. Absolutely crazy. We were talking about this a long, long time ago, and before all this explosiveness happened. So it's always good to be early in these things, but I still think there's a lot more opportunity to go with Solana. Again, we're kind of testing that all-time high yet again, and we will probably see some of these break out over the next couple of weeks here, in my personal opinion. Now, if we're looking at total volume on the daily, close to $7 billion. So that's what you want to see when you're trading. You want to see high volume. If you're trading something with very, very low volume, for example, VeChain still has high volume, but relatively, you kind of want to look at this, right? Volume is very, very important. Volume and open interest is one of these things that I talk about in that series, Global TA. So again, make sure to check that out down below in the description. I don't gain anything from watching it, but it's just, I think, very, very important to have at least some sort of a basis understanding how the charts work, especially if you're looking at a candlestick charts versus like line charts, right? There's only so much data you can pull from these line charts. But next here with VeChain, so ticker symbol VET, we're looking at about 13 cents, up about 11 to 12% on the daily. Market cap is $8.5 billion, and that volume is close to $800 million, right? So up 130%, crazy things. But VeChain, I do like overall. I think we could see some explosive moves here, especially because this has just kind of been in this waterfall pattern like everything else was. But most of these other projects have recovered like Avalanche, right? So Avalanche had a similar thing. Most of these projects had this, and then they recovered, right? So this is where Avalanche kind of had actually new all-time highs and peaked up here. And I still think we could still see some moves here yet with AVAX. So looking at right around $62 and up close to 6% on the daily. Market cap is $13.6 billion, and daily volume is at $911 million. So pretty interesting things there. Then if we're looking here at DeFi Llama, again, this is a bit more in-depth than DeFi Pulse. Now, the reason I use DeFi Pulse is I was using it throughout the majority of that this whole daily DeFi series that I started when I was in Kosovo, and did all throughout, a ton of different countries I've done the series in. But very interesting because they have a lot more things, right? I kind of could almost compare it like, okay, Uniswap is more like DeFi Pulse, and then a Sushi Swap is more like DeFi Llama, right? Many more features. It's covering a lot more things. I think that the Oracle, the data feeds are a lot better. But I'm curious in what you guys think. So again, let me know in the comments what you use. Then we also like to track this daily NFT volume, which has been insane, by the way, over the past month. I mean, NFTs have gone crazy. And I'm glad we were tracking this on a daily time frame because we're seeing close to 5 figures pretty consistently throughout the majority of the series. And now we're seeing above, 7 figures, pretty much 8 figures on a daily basis, which is insane, right? So it's good to see this. This market is a bit more liquid, but Juicy NFTs has had some problems with tracking all these things because there's so many different projects going on, so many different trades on OpenSea, on Rarible, just a lot, right? A lot to cover. So beyond this, we can look here at the rest of the top of the DeFi tokens. Like I said, Terra Luna surpassed Uniswap. You have AVAX here, Chainlink, DAI. So pretty much similar right there. Most things are in the green today. But let's move on to this article now. I think this is very important to understand. As Bitcoin hit that new all-time high, what was it, yesterday? I was at the Citadel here in Alexandria, Egypt, which was absolutely beautiful, enjoying some of those gains, hanging out with some Brazilians. And I mean, it's crazy, right? Most people in the US, most people in Egypt, they have no idea, right? I think this almost should be like a national holiday. Like there should be people dancing in the streets. And I'm sure, depending on where you are in the world, there probably are people very happy, but it's just daily life in the majority of these places because most people have no idea what's going on. So this is really just the beginning, in my personal opinion. So we can see here, at ETH hitting new all-time highs. As Bitcoin goes, so does ETH, and then I think the rest of the altcoins could kind of continue, but have this kind of lagging effect over the next couple of weeks here. This article lays it out pretty well. By the way, everything that we talk about in this video will be linked down below in the description. They basically talk about this crypto watch thing, is a scale of -1 to 1. The reformer means the assets move in the exact opposite directions. A lot of these kind of more complicated things, like with coefficients, you can look at, but at the end of the day, identifying the macro trend is the most important thing. I don't want to bore you guys too much with this article, but I did want to focus on this. So this is insane. And I think it's one of these very interesting things because the Bitcoin ETF, when people say Bitcoin ETF, you really need to focus on what kind of ETF is it, right? So a lot of these projects have kind of filed for ETFs, but a lot of them are strategy-based ETFs. Now, what does this mean? Strategy is usually traded on futures contracts, right? So you have spots, which is just like, okay, if you buy and sell Bitcoin on local Bitcoins, for example, just like you have spot gold or spot silver, right? Commodity prices, where all around the world, the spot price of something isn't leveraged, right? But then when you're using futures, essentially what you're doing is you're speculating on a future price of the given asset. So if people are hopping into this ETF, and this is just the futures ETF, it's going to be way crazier when the spot ETF comes out. And I think this will happen. Hey, maybe it's not going to be in this bull run. I hope it is, because that would be absolutely massive. Because essentially what you can do is you can give people exposure to this asset class. They don't understand how to custody their own Bitcoin. They maybe just hold on to Coinbase, which is not a good thing in my personal opinion. They don't know how to set up their own hardware wallets. But they want exposure to this, right? Just like if people want exposure to real estate, they might buy a REIT, right? A real estate investment trust, similar with an ETF, an exchange traded fund. But in this case, again, you're gaining exposure to, speculation on the future price of Bitcoin, which I don't think is necessarily the best thing. Yes, at least you have some sort of exposure, but there are better ways to do this. So we can see here, this ETF hit an all-time high, which is absolutely insane, right? So assets under management is AUM. In the record-breaking 2 days. So the previous one to this, if I remember correctly, was the GLD, but I can't quite remember. I think this article talks a little bit about it. So talking about it here, you can see GLD. Okay, so it was this. Yep. So you can see these are the previous ones, but absolutely incredible things here. And then I just want to end this out lastly with Andrew Yang. So removing the politics, removing kind of this whole idea, I think it's interesting to see people who are objective on things, right? And I see Andrew Yang as someone, yes, he's running for politician. Yes, he's involved in politics. He's done these things in the past. I really liked what he was saying with kind of the future of automation, the future of jobs, and kind of his more entrepreneurial background, not really caring about Republican or Democrat, but the overall future of kind of America, obviously. But, America kind of causes this ripple effect in the rest of the world. So it's very, very important, the trends that we set, how they're going to impact places like here in Egypt, right? So with this, it's very, very interesting what he's doing with this kind of a future party, right? So they have this kind of whole NFT sale going on with, it's called like the Unbank Yourself. Bankless DAO, so Decentralized Autonomous Organization. What they're doing here. So I want to make the case to legislators. Yang said that crypto communities are a force of progress and innovation and a massive provider of jobs. I love this. If you're interested in crypto jobs, you can send us an email down below at contact@investglobal.io. We have some things rolling. We have some applicants currently with the DAppMap project we're currently working on. I highly recommend you check out, I think this is the podcast, the Bankless podcast, but very, very interesting what they're doing here. He does look a little bit stoned. I'm not going to lie on that picture. He's just like looking over a little bit. Very, very interesting things going on here. I really love what Andrew Yang stands for and his overall kind of views on the world. There's some great podcasts with him. Sam Harris had him on. He's been on, let's say, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, a lot of these really interesting podcasts that I enjoy. But definitely go check this out. So if you guys have any questions, any comments for today's Daily DeFi, we are bringing the series back. I don't know if it will necessarily be daily because I'll be doing a lot more traveling here in Egypt. Once I get settled down in one country, it's been a while since I've been settled down. It's been almost half a year since I've been in one place. I've been bouncing around to all these different places, but that's a beautiful thing. If you can recognize these trends, if you can invest global, it's not just about investing your money, right? It's also about investing your time in all these different places and kind of gaining more perspectives. So that's basically all. If you guys enjoyed it, definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay up to date. Hit the notification bell, click all. Also, you can join the Telegram group, link down below in the description. We have Twitter @investglobal_io. The website is just investglobal.io. If you want to work with us one-on-one, crypto consulting, internationalization, second passports, residencies, you can hit work with us on the websites and you can fill out the form, hop on a call. But besides that, let us know if you have any questions or anything like that in the comment sections. Invest Global, and until next time.